Hi everyone. Today we're going to review the Elements of Design lecture. Remember what we talked about in the previous lecture, Intro to Design, that the elements are the building block, the tools we use to create artwork. And there's only 7 of them, so it's pretty straightforward. We're going to get through this pretty quickly. And just know that the quiz is just around the corner and it's a super simple one because we're just focusing on the 7 elements. So again, Professor Katie Queen here, and you are in Art 501. So to start with, the most basic of all elements is a point. A dot, the simplest of design elements, as I just said, is a singular statement and it attracts the eye. So when we look at this image, I'd like you to look away for a minute and then look back at this image. And I want you to think for yourself what you see first. So most people, universally speaking, see this large black circle. And in that, the eye catches in this large black circle and within movement works its way through the composition, right? Transitioning then to the letter or the word point from the letters. Remember that art lives in the right side of the brain. That is where we see and decode the visual world. The logic side of our existence takes place in the left brain thinking. And I will talk more about this throughout the semester. So moving on from point, the next element is a line. So a line is a point in motion. It is a series of adjacent points, a connection between points, or fourth, an implied connection between points. So you can see here that this artwork is created all through line elements. Line has length and may vary in width. However, its length will always far exceed its width. That's really what defines it as a line. So looking at the line qualities here, we have a thin line, we have a dotted line, a dashed line, a variated like chalk line, a variation of thick to thin line, a bold thick line, and a curvilinear line. So from dot or point to line, then comes shape. Shapes are defined by a flat enclosed area or any such implied area that is enclosed by lines themselves. So I like to use this image to describe how each of these lines that enclose upon an area becomes a defined shape. And that is how we identify shapes. So the next element is pattern. So pattern is created when design units or motifs are repeated over an extended area. I would say at least 4 times. So in the examples I'm providing for you here, these are repeated shapes that have been used in different formats and different directions to create these 4 different element designs. So these element designs are patterns in those repetitions of those motifs being replicated over and over again. So the sister to pattern is texture. And texture is complicated in the sense that there's 2 different distinctions when we talk about texture. One is the surface character of the material that can be experienced or through the suggestion of touch, right? So, and then the second is repeated marks that give enough quantity to create a pattern that simulates that tactile sensation. So I really like to show these 2 images here. One is implied by the actual surface, which is the surface, the texture of the alligator skin, much like the actual surface of a painting that might has a lot of built up paint on it, or a silk screened image, or the surface of a pot, the texture that is the actual texture itself, and then 2, the implied texture. Both are relevant and relate to each other. The next I want to talk about is value. So value is relative degree of lightness and darkness, white and black, and the many gray tones in between. So I like to show both of these images, right? So in a traditional like light logic drawing class, you would create a grayscale, and you'll be creating a grayscale in this class as well. So a traditional grayscale is going to start with 10 values, right? So we have 1 to 10 and 5 in the middle. And as we're working our way through from shade and then slowly adding white, which begins to tint this into the many gray colors of gray to white, this is a gray master scale. Going from there, you go into a master gradation scale where it's shaded and blended, so it fades into each other. So these two concepts then come into the three-dimensional. So value is important because it shows light logic. It gives us a sense of time, light source, and three-dimensionality. So in these three images, you're seeing three different values of the master grayscale being applied to this sphere or circle. And we know that the light source is coming from this upper right corner, right? As you can see with my cursor, because we walk around every day knowing what gravity is, where the sun is. It is in our subconscious of how we exist, right? So value allows the illusion of three-dimensionality. So when we look over here at this Gerber daisy, we see this beautiful photograph that has been photographed in black and white. So it takes the same concepts from the light logic of the image over to the left. And we know that this has three-dimensionality because the values of where it's dark and where it's light. And when we look at this image, we know that the light source is also coming from this upper left corner because you can see that it is lighter here and darker over to the side, very similarly to the spheres in which we're looking at. Next on the list is a much more complicated element, which will come later in the semester. We will be doing color much later on in the term. Color is a sensation produced by any perception of different wavelengths of light. Color has the physical properties of hue, which is the color itself, the value, and the intensity. Color is really loaded. We have emotional associations to color. We have cultural significance of what color provides for us as well. And then last but not least, if we were having this class together in person, I would sit you all down and talk to you about this painting by Julie Heffernan. And this is called The Treehouse, and it is a oil painting. She's a contemporary artist, although this seems kind of like a dated image. And I would like you to maybe identify, look at this painting and figure out where you see the dot, where you see line, where you see shape, where you see pattern, where you see texture, where you see value and color in this composition, right? And where do these things are implied? Where do you see them connected? I hope you found this elements lecture helpful. Please review it. I did go through it quite quickly, but that's the nice thing about it being recorded. Know that that quiz is just around the corner, and I look forward to assisting you moving forward. Stop it.